What do I do? I guess we'll do early version. We'll do later version, original mode. Jump, add credits, options, easy. Oh, that's not the button. Oh, there we go. My controller's in the grip. So most people are already going to be familiar with this game, but I think there's a lot about it that a lot of people don't know. Hopefully my game audio won't be echoing too much in my mic. Yeah, I think we're good. The story of how Donkey Kong came into be is actually a really funny one. Nintendo had been in the arcade business for a few years before this, but most of the games they made weren't particularly notable. Most of them were space shooters. One of them was just a straight-up Space Invaders ripoff. And they were kind of wanting to make some of their own stuff. And at this time, they didn't really distribute their games in the West. If they got to the West, and they did, it's because people would buy up machines and distribute them themselves. Nintendo did have an unofficial distributor. I forgot what the company was called, Far East or something. Despite the sound of it, it was actually just two dudes named Ron and Al just doing this for money. But Nintendo went and they made a game called Radar Scope. And this was a pretty major game for them, because around this time they had also opened their American branch in New York. So, you know, the pressure was on. Radar Scope was to be distributed across America, put Nintendo's name on the map. I did terrible there. Radar Scope was what they were like pinning their hopes on. So they'd ordered something like 3,000 machines. They were like, this is going to do great in America, despite the fact that it was only a modest success in Japan. So what Nintendo does once they're established in America is they ship out these Radar Scope machines to arcades across the country. And as it turns out, people hated Radar Scope. It was annoying, it was unfun. Arcade operators didn't like listening to its stupid sound effects all day. And it was a colossal flop. I want to say out of 3,000 machines, they sold like a couple hundred cabinets altogether, which is like terrible. So they had this warehouse just full of these things that weren't selling, and their unofficial distributors they'd started working with officially, and they were running on borrowed money too, because they were told, oh, you're gonna make it big distributing this game. So there was like a lot riding on Radar Scope as a game, which was selling like boxed cancer. So the dude running Nintendo of America at the time calls home and is like, hey, this is literally the worst game ever, please send us something better. And so Nintendo's like, well man, all of our guys are like busy on important stuff. Like, who could we possibly give a project like this to? We got this young artist named Miyamoto, who hasn't really done too much at the company so far. He had an industrial design degree, so he wasn't like a game developer, and he wasn't like a professional artist. He was an artist, but seemingly more for fun than anything. They're like, alright, well, this guy is free, and the dude who would go on to design the Game Boy, who at that point had designed the Game & Watch, was also free. They're like, alright, supervise this new kid, make sure he doesn't like tank this project. And they got to work, and when they were done, the game they had was Donkey Kong. And they shipped it out, and it made $1 bajillion, and Nintendo was on the map in the West, like as a household name, essentially for good. This game was a total like accident, born out of complete necessity, which is crazy. I'm sure there's a more elegant way to tell that story, but I don't do elegant. This was also supposed to be a Popeye game at one point, which is crazy, but it's true. Miyamoto just wanted to make a Popeye game, and never quite got the rights to do it. At least in time for this. Nintendo did make a Popeye game, like, the year after this. They made a little Popeye Game & Watch game, too. I think Mickey Mouse was also considered as the IP that would be used in this game. It seems like from the beginning there was the theme of, like, scaling a construction site to rescue a lady from a monkey. Only it wasn't a monkey, it was just a big dude. Ended up being a monkey. That's a pretty fitting place to get a game over. I did get to win. Name? Obviously. Oh, the scrolling is weird here. Do I want to register my score? Yeah, why not? Another thing in that story that I didn't even mention, the distributors, Ron and Al, were not in New York. When the panic ensued to create Donkey Kong, the company up and moved from New York to Washington State just to retain these guys and, like, keep them as, like, in-house employees. So things were bad when Donkey Kong came out, or when Radar Scope came out. Japanese version or English version? I'm gonna do the English version. I don't like Donkey Kong Jr. I don't think it's the most fun game. But it is a Donkey Kong game, so we're playing it. It's funny, after releasing the first Donkey Kong, Nintendo got sued by Universal, who were like, you're infringing on the King Kong copyright. And for a number of reasons, that was nonsense and it didn't pan out. But they got sued for this game too. And it was a lot more scandalous. So this game, they started development by reverse engineering the code for Donkey Kong, because they didn't have the source code. Oh. I like this game. They didn't have the source code. They contracted another company to do most of the actual programming. And the source code was the property of that company. And so, when they started on this game, they didn't go to that company and say, hey, we have another project for you. Can we have a look at that source code and get started on something? They went to a different company and were like, hey, please reverse engineer this board, give us this code, we're just going to develop this in-house. Which is kind of like copyright infringement. But they did it, and they didn't really have laws against that in Japan yet. So yeah, Nintendo kind of stole the code to Donkey Kong to make this, after having given it away to its developer, which is wild. All right, let's not suck at this game. Although I think this game sucks, so I'm hard on this game. It doesn't suck that bad. I just think it's weird. It's really not up to my preferences, but I do think it's unironically a really good sequel. There's a clear through line from the previous game to this one, because they're both like, nope, they're both like themed around scaling heights and moving around and climbing. But this one was clever enough to sort of flip that on its head. You get to be the monkey now. You've got this dropping mechanic. Climbing mechanic is a little more complex. It's the kind of evolution that you really want to see out of a sequel, even if it's not the most intuitive game. And I don't think it's the most intuitive game. I think I like Donkey Kong 3 more than this one or the first game. But it is also just an objectively bad sequel, and I'll give my little spiel on that game when I play it. I did not press right. I think my stick just snapped back. I was pressing right. I keep pressing start, but it's not start, it's R. to do the player button. Alright, let's try this again. We're not gonna suck this time. Alright, we're gonna lock in now. But chat, I'm gonna need you to raise your hands in the sky and give me your energy. Help me to beat this game that I'm woefully miserable at. And generally a lot less experienced with than the others. Oh, okay, I thought he was gonna go up off the screen. I guess I was wrong. It's too bad I'm not playing the NES ports, because then I could, like, save state and rewind. Okay, let's do this. I know what to do. The key is to simply not suck at the game, which is easier said than done, but I think I can manage. Oh no. Oh no. I don't like the blue man. Oh. Come on. He climbs so slowly. Can I, like, cheat and give myself way more lives? I think I can. Okay. Oh, I have to reset the game. I guess I will then. Alright, we're definitely gonna beat it this time. Like how there's 2 Marios. Oh yeah, another weird thing about this game. Mario is just the bad guy. Kidnaps DK. Like, takes him back to his evil plumber lair for capturing Pauline in the first game. Oh, there was no good way to... I just needed to not be up. What's a plumber need with a gorilla? I believe in the story of the original game, Donkey Kong was Mario's escaped pet gorilla from the zoo. Like, he had broken out and Mario was... Now this is Mario, like, returning him. That's crazy. Did you see how many of those little fellers went for me? Remember that one episode of Drake and Josh? The one where Josh gets addicted to video games? Or the one where he has a monkey? So those were both good episodes. Okay, we'll do fine here. Oh, we're good. We're not good, we're not good! Oh! Okay, we're good. Where the guy wants to eat the monkey. I do remember that one. Was that the one with the great Henry Doheny? Or was that a different monkey? Or did that episode not have a monkey? I feel like a fake Drake and Josh fan. Haven't seen an episode of that in a while. Birds are adding a great deal of additional stress to this right now. That's Mario right now. Diet Coke spotted. Yes. That episode didn't have a monkey. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know why I thought that episode had a monkey too. My brain is just projecting what it so wants to be real. Because I think monkeys in anything automatically makes the source material funnier. Oh, nope, okay. Oh, I was doing so good too. Okay, maximum effort this time. We're gonna start with all the twofers. Okay, there we go. We're gonna go back down. Oh, this way. We're gonna become the greatest Donkey Kong Jr. players. You and me, chat. Everyone in chat. We're gonna be great at Donkey Kong Jr. Oh. Okay. Come on. We were supposed to go lower. I should have just anticipated that, I think. I think it's unlikely that the chompers will go back down the same thing twice, so I'm just going to push this one up right now. Okay. Doing fine. Gonna hit this single one next. I could have gotten out of the way. I could have seen that coming. We have only got one life. This isn't good. Let's do the single one right now. Actually, why am I not just doubling up when I do them? Why am I not paying attention when I do anything? It's maybe a better question. Okay. Try again. I hate that I keep pressing start. That's my name. Ham. Love ham. Love that that's on the board. After the Donkey Kong Legacy, we're doing the Drake and Josh Legacy, where I play all of the Drake and Josh licensed video games, including the like web flash games. That actually would be a really funny thing to do for April Fools, now that I say it out loud. There was at least a Game Boy Advance game, I think. We could do Drake and Josh Legacy. Oh, come on, get out of my way. Okay, we're doing okay. Doing fine. Jump over the guy. This guy. Alright, we did that in one attempt. That's a good start. They're actually so good, though. I would come home from school and tear up their game site. Yeah, remember when there were actual fun games on the internet? Nickelodeon had a lot of games. You gotta be kidding me. Should've just gone. I remember Nickelodeon had a time where they had like a new game a week, or several new games a week, and it was like a big thing, which was really cool. So I had just like a wealth of great SpongeBob content. Now SpongeBob Legacy, there's an idea. SpongeBob has a lot of great games. Oh. We'll be fine. Okay. Oh, that was really close. I gotta lock in now. Nope, nope, nope. Oh. I dodged into him. That's so dumb. Oh, there was this thing when I was a kid that I played a lot. Disney, their site had a thing. Oh, no, no, come on. Their site had a thing where you could, like, make an account and log in. You had, like, a customizable home page or something. And you could put, like, widgets on it and stuff. I don't remember what that was called, but it was fun and I spent a lot of time on it. Oh, I can't dodge above him. It's my bad, actually. But I wish I could remember what that Disney thing was called. I have no clue, though. Cartoon Network had a lot of good games, too. It's really hard to know when the birds are going to go from vertical to horizontal. And when I was a kid, the place that I went for Flash games was AndCon Arcade. I think that site's still up, too. And everything there. That one Flash Sonic game that everyone played. Hot Dog Bush, where George Bush has to sell hot dogs after the 2008 election. What more do you need? Hot Dog Bush was a fun game, actually. I'm glad that's been preserved. There's a lot of Flash games that have been preserved, which is good to see. So what's the strat with these birds? Do I just have to, like, as soon as I get near them, drop down until I see them go horizontal? I think that might be the strat. That's crazy. That is an insane amount of things to dodge. Yeah, so this was one of Nintendo's first in-house games that they actually developed, and in my humble opinion, I think it shows. Great ideas, but the execution left a little bit to be desired. Also, is my game audio simply not coming through? I don't hear it. That's strange. I just noticed that that's a thing that's happening, but I don't know why that would be the case. Let me look into that. Oh, now the audio's here. Well, that's weird. Yeah, there's the audio. I think that was a bug in OBS. That's weird. It is coming through now, right? Oh, I looked away for a second. Hopefully my ramblings on Flash games and the deep lore of the development of Donkey Kong have been a good backing track for this so far. I'll have to look into what could have caused that. but it appears to be working now from the audio readout. So... Oh man, I thought he was sufficiently above me. If ever there's just no audio coming through, feel free to let me know. It doesn't annoy me or anything. I just like to fix it as soon as I can. I keep thinking you can switch over quickly, but you just can't. This will be my final attempt of Donkey Kong Jr., then we'll move on to the superior Donkey Kong 3, the game that no one talks about because it's weird. And it is weird. Ah, I should have seen that coming. Well, we could beat it on 2 lives, so I won't quit prematurely. You know what? I bet I could just I could just use the like save stating feature of the NES version. It's actually a way better way of doing it than just giving up on it. This is the arcade version of the game, which is slightly different. Okay, we're playing the NES version. We're gonna do that. Yeah, Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. were launch titles for the NES in Japan. And a lot of the selling point of the NES and its Japanese equivalent, the Famicom, was that it could actually run arcade games fairly well, which could not be said about other home hardware of the time. You can see it's the graphics are a bit more squashed and definitely less colorful than the arcade, but I think Junior actually feels better to control here. It's funny, I feel like people play the NES versions of this game more often than the arcade versions. So when you do see the arcade versions, like you don't immediately consider like, oh, that's like, oh, I forgot this level is different. You don't immediately consider like, oh, that's not what the NES version looks like. The NES version is like sort of pared down a little bit. Now we can do this. Because both versions of the game feel good. I know in my mind, like, the NES and arcade versions don't, like, occupy a separate space. Oh, wait, we're supposed to drop onto that platform. As you can hear, this game has this beautiful music. Donkey Kong was not yet known for having like S-tier music. This was very much in the infancy of gaming, certainly in the infancy of gaming soundtracks too. Yeah, this beautiful track was composed by a composer smashing their fingers on their keyboard, just making a lot of notes. Now, this game may very well be easier because it didn't need to be a quarter muncher to make money. because it's a home release. I guess we'll know for sure with this stage. They've definitely got less birds on screen. Wow, this actually is just an infinitely easier port of the game. Like Junior's goofy little smile. And that's the game. It's that much easier on NES. We beat it just like that. Alright, so pretending that I've beaten it on arcade, we're gonna move on to Donkey Kong 3, which is a very, very strange game. For reasons you'll see in a minute. We'll do this one. Oops. So this is a distinctly different format than the other two games. Can I, like, make sure I have a bunch of lives first? Yeah, there we go. Yes. So the first two games are definitely platformers, where the goal is to get to the top of the screen. And a lot of the reason that those games stuck out at the time is because every arcade game was either a maze game like Pac-Man or Rally X, or a space shooter like Space Invaders or Galaga. And Donkey Kong sort of created or pioneered the platformer. In fact, there wasn't even a term for platformers at the time. Nintendo called them athletic games, because they were very much their own thing. And that's what makes this game so odd, because when you think about it, this is a space shooter. A space shooter that I'm bad at. So this is basically a space shooter. The franchise that became popular by not being a space shooter decided, oh no, we should make a game that is a space shooter. Because what you're doing is you're shooting from the bottom of the screen at the top of the screen, and there's stuff coming at you. Those are traits of a space shooter. And a lot of why this game is so strange lies in its origins. Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. were, like, built from the ground up as their own games. But this really wasn't. This was a remake of an old Game & Watch game called Greenhouse, where you play as Stanley the Bugman, who you're still playing as here, and you're shooting at, like, bugs and stuff in a greenhouse. Now, why a Greenhouse remake became Donkey Kong 3, we don't exactly know. Probably just because Donkey Kong was a wildly successful brand at the time. But an odd choice nonetheless. But I'm just not dodging things. I think this is a much more fun game than Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. Because it's unique and it challenges what the series can be. And subjectively, it's just kind of fun. It's fun when you're not sucking like me. All I gotta do is not get hit by the stingers. The super spray makes that easy because you can actually shoot from the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I don't know if there were other space shooters at the time where your shots were limited in height. So that's, I guess, a new dimension added to the gameplay by Nintendo. Pretty neat. If we can get him up there. guys are really in the way. And I would love if they moved. They really give you a lot to dodge. That poor monkey. He's definitely getting the bidet of his lifetime right now. He'll be clean if nothing else. Clean and bug-free. So we're shooting him with bug spray. Aw, come on. Don't like where the shots are hitting? Yeah. Right up his Donkey Kong. So maybe the strat is to not hit these bugs because they just get in the way. Give me my plants back. Oh, I got the super spray. We're good now. Easy. Poor guy. Look at how happy he is. Old Bucktooth Stanley. Yeah, Stanley the Bugman would not go on to be a prominent Mario character. Oh wait, was that the last level? Is this just a repeat of the first? I think this is just the game beat now. That's kind of cool. I think the NES version has more levels. At least one more, I think. Oh, or maybe I'm just thinking of this, which is like the same thing as before, but slightly different. This thing. An angry little guy. Well, I knocked DK down, so I'll consider the game beat. I'll just play it until I die. Then we're moving on to Country. Big Country fan. Donkey Kong Country, unlike some of these other games, I think holds up, like, remarkably well. I think to this day, it is still like a masterclass in platforming. These games, I feel like nowadays they're just interesting retro oddities. I think Donkey Kong 1 is the only super survivable game out of the three. Because Junior's kind of frustrating, this one's just odd. Even though I think this one is actually the better game. Ah. Well, that's Donkey Kong 3.